Do you experience that you have started building your team with inexperienced developers? And haven't you thought it all through? And do you experience or perhaps recognize that you are not taking care of individual team members? And do you experience that you are not recognizing the value of internal communication? Maybe you don't know why this is a problem or what you can do about it to solve it. Well, then this video is perfectly made for you. And this clip from our very first webinar, Luciano will tell you all about this problem and how you can solve it.
Starting with inexperienced developers and not thinking about your starting team. And inexperienced developers, I know this might be hard for student startups, but that usually matters a bit less because the teams will be smaller, the products will be smaller, the stakes aren't as high usually. But what does inexperienced here mean? It means people who are not experienced with starting a code base for a startup. You don't just want any developer from a big corporate starting a new project, because that corporate experience is completely different from startup experience, and that is something I have experienced with myself. If you use inexperienced developers, setting up a new project will lead to technical debt, unmaintainable architecture, and it will cause a lot of issues when scaling up. Inexperienced developers also usually have sometimes, or quite usually actually, trouble translating business needs to the correct implementation, or they take a long time, or the estimates are off, or it's just a bit of a headache. And junior developers can be a great addition to the team, don't get me wrong on that, but not in the starting phase. They need to be mentored by seniors to be as valuable as they can. Then if we're talking about the size of your team, if you are all by yourself and doing everything yourself, that's impossible. There's too much to do. But on the other side, if you have a team of 12 people, 12 founders, that's overkill. There's not that much to do. So what should you do? You should hire at least one senior developer for your starting team, probably going to be your CTO. And then for each technical domain, so think of backend, mobile, front-end, embedded, you want to make sure that the foundation is made by someone with lots of experience. And if we're talking about the size of your team, 2 to 5 founders seems to be the optimal range. And also make sure that the team is like a group of friends. They need to love to work together. They want to grab a beer together. That's the type of team you want. So let's listen to Daily and Airchip talking about their starting teams and how they found the right people for the startups.
And what did the founding team look like? Was it just you and Korean?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah, that's the founding team. Yeah, we're both co-founders of Dearly. Yeah.
And besides the founders, were there also other people connected to the team, and with what kind of knowledge or responsibilities?
Yeah, so in the beginning we also had somebody helping us with content creation, and then of course after going through all the research and everything, we also we needed to build an application, so we went out there and we found, of course, Bytecode in supporting us with developing the application. But we also had support from a UX designer in the prototyping phase. And we also had some support in social media and marketing.
At the beginning, we had some change arounds from the founding team until the solid team that we are today. Yeah. I think this has also to do with the fact that we were interrupted by a massive global pandemic, and that people had other ideas about what they want to do in life. I once initiated the gang, and I'm still initiating it, but there were some swap rounds, and I think everyone walked away happy, and the ones who stayed are still happy here. So but it is an important thing to think about, to test the cultural due diligence with other people you work with, because it is like a marriage. I think one important lesson is also here to watch out for the right cultural match with the people you work with. And make sure that everyone is in the same visionary direction. And everyone knows getting developers is very hard. It was the same back then. Yeah. So you might be scared of the figures that you have to pay for a recruitment agency, and some of them are really techy and sticky and nasty. But we now learned that when you have the right recruitment agency, it can really, really accelerate the right cultural fit for talent as well. We have a really great experience with people who actually understand the job of recruitment very fine. So to any new founder, please consider having support in recruitment, because just finding a right developer cultural fit is very hard to do yourself when you have no experience in the field.
If you have issues like team members are tired or burnt out, there's lots of overtime work, there's a very high work pressure, there are conflicts within the team, team members are not enjoying the work, maybe health issues are coming up, then you're not taking care of individual team members. You want the people in your team to love working with you. And a good team means a good product. It's the motor behind your whole startup, behind everything. And burnout is very frequent for startup employees, and it's really horrible. It will cost time and money, but it's also just for the person. I mean, it's not great for them. So try to avoid this. It's good for them as a person and for your setup as a startup as well in the long run. Don't expect 24/7 availability or for people to be 24/7 on. Make an on-call rotation. So when you have like things in the evening, plan for, okay, you will take this evening, I will take this evening. Plan it. And if you need to work overtime, that means you're a bad planner. So make good plans and be realistic on what's possible, and take care of your health as well. If you give people a gym membership or play basketball or football or soccer for the Americans during lunch, or if you have an Xbox, play some FIFA or during the break, or play some chess if you're by yourself, just to get your brain on something else. Just focus on something else. And if you're a chess player, my username is Luciano Noy on Lichess. Feel free to add me. Make sure that everyone has a good place to work. It should be good for both the quiet deep work, the concentrated deep work, and for collaboration. And this should be the case whether you are, in an office or most likely now working from home. Also create this culture of learning, especially for developers. They want to learn. Make sure that it's possible. Take every Friday or every other Friday afternoon and do some fun projects, do group code reviews, get that real team feeling, and hire the people you want to be friends with. That's very important as well. And if you're giving feedback, if you're having a difficult conversation, don't try to be kind, be accurate. It might be hurtful. Embrace a sort of tough love mentality. Be honest. If you have conflicts within the teams or departments, if you have internal politics, not really team spirit, misunderstandings, developers not knowing what other developers are working on, then you have walked into this pitfall. It's a problem because you're not syncing up enough. Not everyone is on the same page. You have this island culture. How can you fix it? You need to establish clear communication guidelines and channels. And you need to make commitments, very important. So you don't want to say, yeah, maybe I'll try. If you give a commitment, say, yes, it's done next Monday. Or you say, no, I can't because of other commitments. If you say yes to avoid disappointment, it's lying. If you say yes, make sure you keep your word. Be honest with the team and demand integrity. So make sure everyone is on the same page, and there is this trust within team members that if someone else says to you, I'll fix it before Monday, you are absolutely certain it will be done before Monday. That's what you need to build a great team. Also have daily sharing of work tasks. So do either daily stand-up in your office or do it online on Slack every morning. Send what you're going to do. And at the end of the day, say, I did this today. Asynchronously, fine as well. And don't micromanage, of course, but that everyone knows about not micromanaging.
And did you like this video? We have much more content for you to read and view. For instance, our other videos and of course our website. Together with you, we want to achieve growth for your startup. And we want to enable this by development, UX design, and of course, determining the strategy. Feel free to contact us with no strings attached, and let's see what we can accomplish together.